Randy Dutkin, and let's get after it.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a bright and early Martin Luther King Day edition of the Let's Get It show. We are here, got a lot to attack in a short time today. We're going to talk a little bit of Eagles. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL playoffs from this weekend. A little Sixers talk. I mean, it has been a wild weekend. We got some of the most historic coaches moving on from their positions in Bill Belichick in New England and Nick Saban with Alabama. We got a lot to cover in a short time, so I'm just going to get right into it. Coach, how you doing this morning?
Doing well. All's good. It's cold, but I'm doing well. Hanging in there.
Yeah. As a fan of the cold, even I can admit, I walked out this morning and I said, okay, it is cold and it feels like the snow may be coming this week. Jay, how about you yourself? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Just same thing, man. Cold. Still. I'm trying to decide, am I okay with this cold or I'm ready for summertime? Because summertime, once summer comes in the heat, then it's like I wish it would cool down. So, it's that back and forth thing. But it's cold. It's definitely cold out there. And it's flu season. All kind of COVID 24, 25, 26. It's a lot of different germs out there. So that's what comes with the cold too. So, but other than that, I'm doing well though. Happy MLK Day, Martin Luther King.
Yeah, absolutely. It is cold, and it's funny. That's why I always say the best time of the year, I would say, is the fall. I like that fall. I mean, early spring, a little bit of both. I am not but because you said when it comes to the heat, not at all. So I'm going to jump right into it. I know we talked about it, Coach, before the show started about Dallas Cowboys lost. And, there's a lot of conversation that people are more excited about the fact that Dallas lost than the fact that the Eagles play tonight. And no matter what, we can just take some solace in the fact that Dallas got smacked. So I know you were talking a little bit that you were watching it and you just thought that from the jump, you thought Dallas was in trouble.
Yeah, like when I was at a little birthday party and they had it on, so I was watching it. And when Dallas got down early, I think Green Bay won the toss and took the ball, and they went down and scored right away. Then I think Dallas went 3 and out, and Green Bay scored again. And then you saw CeeDee Lamb and Dak start to kind of get into it a little bit, and and then you could tell it was almost obvious, one of those things they're going to force the ball to him now. And I think the very next play was his pick six. It was just obvious. It was just these guys are in trouble. It just didn't look good from the beginning.
Yeah, and I mean it's just. I think that the Green Bay was a little underrated coming in. Yeah. I mean, I think Jordan Love is a very strong quarterback. I mean, they had some good receivers. And, I mean, no matter what, I still just don't trust Dallas. Jay, did you get a chance to see that game yesterday?
Oh, I sure did. I don't think I watched all of it. Actually, I know I didn't watch all of it. But anytime, listen, there's nothing better than to watch the Cowboys lose. So, but I think watching it, you could tell that Green Bay, they just wanted it more. And I was having a conversation with my uncles and them, and I said, you know what? Oftentimes the pressure is on the home team, not on the away team. Sometimes the away team, you get to play a little looser. So sometimes you want that home court advantage, but then sometimes it's you know what? When you're on the road, you're not expected to win. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call it the home court, home team advantage. But, you know what I'm saying? So they had no pressure. I thought all the pressure was on Dallas, and I don't like Dallas in pressure. So, I see them always losing. You know what I'm saying?
No, not at all. I mean, you don't like Dak. I mean, Mike McCarthy, it's only a matter of time before most likely they announce that he's done as the coach. I said yesterday, as soon as that game was going on, I said, well, Bill Belichick might be your next coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I think that would be the kind of spot for him to go. I feel like he could be a Jerry Jones guy. But, I mean, I think that, when you're talking about that home field advantage, I think that plays a big role for the Eagles today, is them playing on the road, because that's actually, to them, I think that's better for them and actually gives them a stronger chance to win. Because if they were playing at home right now, tensions are high as it is the way that the Eagles are playing. No one is real high on them winning today. If they came out and got down, let's say 7-0 or 10-0, that stadium would be booing left and right.
Yeah.
They get down 10-3, 10-0 to Tampa Bay. Okay, we could go back in and regroup. So, I mean, I think you were saying about where you're playing is a factor. I think the Eagles playing on the road actually helps them all the way through. I mean, I think that minimum, the Eagles have to win today. If they travel to Detroit after this and the way Detroit looked, if they were to lose, I think that would be accepted a little more. And even though that expectations were much higher, but today is a must win. And like you said, Coach, before the show started, Nick Sirianni's coaching for his job today.
Yeah, I think he is. I don't necessarily think he should be. I don't think I don't put this all on him. I mean, somebody's going to get the blame, but I don't know if it's necessarily him. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's going to be interesting to see if they can kind of figure it out. AJ Brown's out, which is interesting that.
That's huge.
He's been some of the turmoil the media has been spewing out there, like he's part of the problem. So if that's true and he's not playing, does that help them like just kind of get back on track, or is it just you're missing your 1,400-yard wide receiver? So it's going to be interesting to see, what they can do, and this is a time where Jalen Hurts can really really step up and kind of just take control. I mean, it sucks that he's hurt. Yeah. That he's not 100%, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree, Coach. The only thing I'm gonna say, I don't understand even the rhetoric about how he's coaching for his job. Like I don't understand it. I'm not even sure. Like, to me, I think he would deserve another chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, he brought you to the Super Bowl. He's won in every year. The team has improved. Only it's just this last little. 5 games, or really after the, after they went 10-1, then they
5-6.
They won 5 out of the last 6.
Yeah.
So they've kind of faltered a little bit, but I mean that's not uncommon at different times or whatever. But I don't think he should be coaching for his job or whatever like that. Epic and historical collapses. No, I think the epic and historical collapse we just witnessed last night. That to me was epic and historical.
Yeah, if I agree with you, I agree with that. I mean, I think that even if they lose, yeah, there's going to be major changes. But I think it's the people around Sirianni. I don't think he should be fired if they lose. I know you're going to have a lot of people out there calling for him. I think a lot of it just depends too on how they lose. And if they come out today, because the problem recently has been with them is that they've just come out unprepared in many ways. The thing too is you're playing through a lot of injuries, and that's something that has to be factored in. And then yesterday or last week when they said, why did Jalen go back in? I mean, look, these are still grown men that are playing the game. If they tell you they want to go back in, you go back in. And, if he doesn't go back in, then he gets, there's really a lose-lose situation for that.
Yeah, and you want to try to get him some flow. You want to try to, if you're going to take him out, you want to try to take him out when he, all those guys, when something positive has just happened, so that's kind of the last thing they remember. Here's a question for you. Take Sirianni out of it. I know you can't really do that, but would you want Belichick as the coach?
No, absolutely not. To me, I think that I don't want to say the game has passed him by because I think it's one of those guys who's earned respect, and it's like to say that is tough. But I don't think that he is a kind of coach that would fit in Philadelphia at all. I mean, to me, so the answer is no.
Mm-hmm. He might be the kind of coach that Philly needs, though. He needs somebody that can steady the fan base. I mean. Right now, Sirianni's he's coaching. I guess he's coaching for his job, right? How quickly can that turn like that? My gosh, you know what I'm saying? A couple of weeks ago, Sirianni was the man. Now he's coaching for his job. That's crazy. Well, I don't understand.
I wasn't saying fire Sirianni. I'm asking, would you want Belichick as the coach of the Eagles? Like, forget. I don't think Sirianni should lose his job no matter what happens today. But I'm saying, would you want him in Philly?
Right. So to the point I want to say is that Belichick would get up there and be like, he'd be matter of fact.
Yeah.
He wouldn't really care about the media. Yeah. He wouldn't care about anything. He would be just matter of fact, and I don't care what you think, and check my rings. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think that he could work in Philly. He could actually work in Philly.
He could. I mean,
because Sirianni's shook right now. He's shook right now. Sirianni feels like he's coaching. Sirianni actually feels like he's coaching for his job.
For sure.
He does. I mean, they were showing some side by side photos of when Sirianni was doing well and his first, and they were like, he doesn't look good right now. But the other piece of it too is I don't think that Belichick, because with the front office, I mean, we know Howie and Jeff and Laurie, they have their hand in it with the coaches and who they want there. I don't think Belichick is the kind of guy who's going to give them the ear that they're looking for their coach to give them. Like, as far as, hey, this is what you should be doing. This is who we should be getting. This is, I think that not that they want someone they can manipulate, but I don't think they want somebody there either that they're intimidated by. Because even like with like Doug Peterson, he was a strong coach. Once he was successful and won the Super Bowl, they knew, hey, we don't have any leverage over this guy. Even going back to Andy Reid, once he had that run of success and they didn't have leverage over him, it was the same type of thing where it was, okay, well, now we need to bring in a guy that we can be successful with, but still can manipulate a little bit.
And I think that's why Sirianni stays. I think he's been the ultimate team player in terms of what they want. He doesn't rock the boat as far as rosters and who he wants on the team. He just
coaches right in front of him.
Coaches who he has and doesn't make a big stink about it. So I think, and he's been successful. So it's not like, I think that's why he stays and I think he should stay. Like you said, I don't see how a guy who, what is this, his third year?
Third year
playoffs, Super Bowl playoffs.
It probably should have been a Super Bowl victory, in all honesty.
So I don't know how, and this has been a bad run. Don't get me wrong. Like this is these last 5 out of 6 has been a bad run. But we don't say, oh, he had 5 out of 6 where it was a great run. We don't give him credit for that. So right. I think it's the same thing.
But even like you look at like kind of in a similar situation, like a Sean McVay. The Rams were successful, Super Bowl bound, then they were struggling. There wasn't talked about, it's time to fire McVay. It's like, we'll get this thing right. They got the Rams back to the playoffs, very close to winning a game yesterday. So I feel like that's a comparable. Granted,
Speaking of the Rams, I don't know if you guys watched any of that game.
It was a good game.
Stafford got hurt.
He did.
And,
I saw it.
I didn't know. I didn't know that.
I saw it. I was going to bring that up. I said, listen, it would be just my luck that he comes in and wins the game.
Then if they would have beaten Detroit and then the Eagles would have won, you would have Carson Wentz coming back to Philadelphia. I mean, honestly, as soon as I saw that about juicy possibility, I was like, man, I don't wish injury on anybody, but this would be a fun storyline.
I did not know he was I didn't know he was even there. I guess he got signed late in the season.
I didn't even know. Listen, I saw that. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
I know. I mean, as soon as it was, I was out there like, wait a minute, what? And then of course last week there was people that were like, oh, watch, look at him slinging the rock. No, stop, please.
Yeah, like I said, it speaks to other angles that could be critiqued with that. But at the end of the day, Philly has what it takes to get the job done. They just have to get it done. It's the bottom line. I mean, they have injuries or whatever, but you got to come out. You got to go to Tampa and you got to play with some purpose. Get in there and get your victory and get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple.
No, and I agree. No matter what, without A.J. Brown, you have a more talented team. You should go out there and win that game, and that shouldn't be an issue. Now,
actually, you should be good even going into Detroit too. Detroit's tough though. That defense is tough.
I think it's Detroit's tough. I mean,
but they can be beat though. They can be beat.
They can. They definitely can. I mean, I think you get through this game and go from there. But what's your thoughts on A.J. Brown? I mean, obviously, he was traded out of Tennessee for the similar reasons to what he's kind of showing here with his behavior and doing whatnot and deleting his association with the Eagles on social media. Just, you're already going through a tough time. There's the old saying of keep it internal, but then you go ahead and you kind of make it external by doing that and drawing attention. I mean, do you think that that's something? How do you think that should be handled? Is kind of what I'm saying.
I don't know. That's a good question. I found it super interesting that he was ruled out on Friday.
Yeah, like you
for
would
a
think
Monday
you try to
game.
you think it'd be a game time decision.
Yeah, that I guess was puzzle. Like if he was ruled out, yesterday, I guess that would make sense. But like to be ruled out Friday, I mean, I guess he's that hurt, but that was surprising to me, which kind of led me to believe that there's more to what's going on, or I guess that he's just more injured than they're leading
Yeah,
into.
and I mean, that's my thought. Even from just a game planning perspective, like, hey, we know you're not playing, but we'll say, we're gonna go up to the clock, like your
And
normal.
that's what they usually do.
Yeah. We'll get them to training. We'll do this and that.
Yeah, that surprised me. I mean, I just think, and I don't know, like there just seems, what's the saying, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Mm-hmm.
Like there just seems like it's constant, and it's not going away. That he's part of this problem or whatever. And it wouldn't be the first time in his career that this has happened. So I don't know. It's. But you know what? Winning cures all. So if you win, everybody's going to get on board.
And I think that's the thing. I mean, you gotta. Sometimes we forget that sometimes these kids, and they're kids to us. You know what I'm saying? Well, kids to me. And they're young, so they're going to react immature or whatever the case may be. They start losing, now you start talking stuff, and Hurts has to. He has to understand the headship that he has as the quarterback. You distribute the ball to whoever's open. You don't start to feel like, oh, I got to make sure I got to give it to this one or give it to this receiver or give it to that. No, because once you start doing that,
then you go in trouble.
Then you go away from the game plan. Yep. It's like, it's in basketball. I always feel like the ball should dictate the shot. Now, if you want to put your best offensive player in that position to get that shot, then you could do that. But then just being selfish, I don't know. I just don't know if I agree with that. I think that, back to this football, I think that, he's got to distribute the ball and make sure that he can make plays that's going to make his team win. Bottom line, that's who you have to have allegiance to first, not trying to force it in. But with that being said, I think that's why Dak and them got in trouble, right? Green Bay put that pressure on, and now Dallas got to try to catch up now. So everybody know you throwing it.
And you said the same, and Coach said
everybody know.
Yeah, Coach had a good point that, CeeDee Lamb got into it with Dak Prescott. Sure enough, he tries to force feed him the ball, and there's a pick six. So It was like, do what you need to do. I mean, I think tonight, like I said, you got to go with your strength. I mean, right now, if you're the Eagles, you need to rely heavily on DeAndre Swift and use your run game and do what's going to be successful. I mean, that's not taking anything away from Hurts. It's just you have a running back who's been successful. You have a strong offensive line. Like, no matter how you're going to win, play to your strength. Don't try to be somebody you're not. And I think the Eagles have been trying a little bit to go away from who they were instead of just playing to their strength.
See, I disagree. I mean, and I agree. But then I disagree with some points. The more and more I understand the game of football, it comes down to two things: the offensive line and defensive line.
Yep.
Bottom line. Okay. If they're not doing their job, everything else exposes. Okay. So, Hurts, yeah, he needs to play better. Everybody needs to play better. Everybody needs to just do their job. Do your job and everything else works. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that the coaches are not going away from the game plan because that's the game plan that's got them successful. But I don't think when you got injuries, then you got other people stepping in to do that job, and maybe they're not doing it in the same vein or the same manner. So, that the lines, this is just a battle of lines. When they say it's in between the lines, it's the truth. It's a battle between the two lines. Yeah. So if the Eagles can win the battle of the defensive line and the offensive line, we're gonna get the victory.
It is.
Bottom line.
I think they should win. I think I think as we're talking about it more, my confidence is raising a little bit that they do go in and win. We'll see. I mean, one of the things too is they were talking about it. This is a kind of a milestone game with Eagles, players with Jason Kelce and Brandon Graham. Guys have been there for years, and Jason Kelce's kind of been a little moot on whether or not this could be his last game. I think there's a lot of different storylines, but I think it's just go in, win the game. Like if you're Nick Sirianni today, you just go in there. Look, it may sound cliche, but let's block out all the noise, go out, do what we do best, win this game. The only way we shut people up is if we win this game. Let's go do what we do, and that's it. Like that wouldn't be too in depth. It wouldn't be all rah speech. It would just be very straight to the point of let's go beat this team that we should beat today and move on to the next one. But I'll tell you, it was funny. I was watching some clips of Jimmy Johnson at the halftime. Yeah, I was like, listen, if you can fly Jimmy out there right now, he might be able to motivate this Cowboys team to win.
It was funny.
Yeah,
it was good
because you could tell it was just coming from the angles, like wanting good TV, and then just also being so frustrated of watching a team that he loved.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Did y'all see Stephen A's?
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. The halftime one was funny too.
I ain't seen that halftime.
Halftime, he just kind of went. He just put the camera on his face and he was smiling, and he was just like he didn't say anything because he knew it was too early.
Right, but he was like, yeah, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I knew they was going to lose. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they do. But I couldn't believe that they was getting spanked. Yeah, they got spanked.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to watch a lot, but I saw when I saw it was 27-0 at one point.
Yeah,
I was
spanked.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, I was indirectly watching, and but Stephen A's rants are the best. And I love how he does the camera angle. Yeah. And you see then you see the laugh.
Yeah.
And then nothing better too than the Skip Bayless, who I can't really stand, but his rants too about being a Cowboys fan are phenomenal. So, I mean, if there's one guy this morning I would not want to be, it is definitely Mike McCarthy, because it's more of an inevitability of, in my opinion, of you getting that phone call of, well, we had a nice run.
I don't even understand that. I mean, because, Jason Garrett got,
Oh, yeah, it's a very good point.
He got I don't know how many chances, and he sucked. He was terrible.
I think with McCarthy, it's going to come down to, do they think they can get who they want? Like if it's a Belichick, if we can get Belichick, you're gone. But they're gonna make sure they can get who they want. If they're gonna get rid of him.
But sometimes it's you're right. It's the I guess a coach under a different headship, leadership. Maybe those receivers, maybe everybody plays a little different. That's a possibility, I guess. I don't know, but at a certain point, I think that sometimes you got to look at the performance on the field.
Is Dak James Harden?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good comparison.
Yeah. He's the football James Harden. Good in the regular season, postseason come. He looked real good in the fourth.
Yeah, well,
towards the end.
When they're playing prevent, I know, he's like, we battled in the fourth. We made our way back. Well, yeah, I mean, there were throws that you and I could have made because they were just sitting wide open.
There was a moment, though, that I felt like, now, you've done what you had to do to get to this point. Do not mismanage this game.
When they scored, I think they cut it to they cut it to 16 with
That's
3
right.
minutes left.
I'm like,
or something like
do
that.
not mismanage this game.
It was something like that, and then they and then I think they punted.
They punted, so Dallas had do not mismanage this game, because that would have, if Dallas would have came back and won that game, they win the Super Bowl. They win the Super Bowl.
I agree.
Okay, so do not mismanage this game. Because sometimes you can mismanage yourself out of a game, and I think that was. Who was that? Was that Detroit? It's funny that they won though, right? That was Detroit when it was ineligible player.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. That was them, right?
Yeah.
So even though they won this game, but I mean, I thought they could have won that game as well too. So, but we'll see. We'll see. The Eagles have to get busy tonight. They must get busy. They must get busy, not just for them, but also for their fan base too, as well, because the fan base is struggling. Okay, they are struggling.
Yeah, I mean,
some of them are starting to watch hockey.
Yes, they know. they don't know. They don't know what to feel.
Listen, the Flyers. I mean, the Flyers have been playing some good hockey. I mean, I will never call myself a large hockey fan, but kind of a low key. But they deserve some attention. They've been playing some good
ahead of schedule.
Hockey. I mean, they are. I mean, they really have been playing well. So they've had me tuning in a little bit. Like, all right, Flyers are on. I'll tune that, because I mean, I've always enjoyed hockey, but like I said recently, when they've been struggling, you're like, well, it's not worth tuning in. But they're playing some good hockey.
Right.
Absolutely. What I was going to say though too before we wrap that up and get into some Sixers talk, because they've been going through it a little bit, playing well, some injuries. I still don't think that any NFL football game, a playoff game, should be on a Monday night. I feel like you need to find a way to make them all weekend games.
You know what? I'm okay with the Monday night, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's still in the flow of the season.
All right.
Okay. So and that maybe I could see it as a travesty, right? But nothing's more than a travesty. And we're sitting there, they did what I call a hustler move. Like they were like a drug dealer. Okay. They said, come on, sit down. You know what? We're gonna give you this free sample. Come on, watch the game. So you get your taste in, you start working, you know what I mean? You got your people over. You might be sipping, drinking, doing whatever you do. You're watching the game, and then they tell you, listen, the next game, if you want to watch it, we're streaming the Peacock.
That was crazy.
And you like, yo, you got to be kidding me. After all these years of it being free, now you say like, yo, we switching this game. If you want to watch this game, because we know y'all want to watch this one, and we're switching it to Peacock.
Yeah, that was.
And you gotta get the subscription if you want to watch the game. I thought that was a travesty.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more.
That's a travesty.
Yeah. Every single but
smart as hell.
Yeah.
But a travesty.
Yeah, people were saying, oh well, you've had to pay for sports in the past. You never had to pay extra to watch a playoff game.
Right. Your pay for watching sports was the cable.
Right, exactly. Well, they were like, people were saying, oh, well, the Phillies used to be on different channels and whatnot, but that was regular season. You never had a...
They were on free channels, though.
Well, no, there was years back where you had, Prism and all.
That's the same as Comcast Sportsnet. The same thing. It's all that. That's the same thing. It's
part of your package.
It's part of your package. Mm-hmm. You paying to watch through the cable. So now I got to pay again? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It is.
That's
but
crazy. And what's even more crazy is I paid that shit because I wanted to watch it.
No, we did.
I wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
So
yep. And I know I have a friend now who, he doesn't even have he refuses to watch the Amazon Prime games on Thursday night. He was like, he's like, I'm not going to subscribe to it. He still doesn't have Amazon Prime, which blows my mind.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But he was like, I don't do it. He's like, if I need something, I just go get it.
But I'm okay with Amazon doing that kind of like a pimp move for Thursday. Because the Thursday night game is a new phenomenon anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a new thing.
And a lot of times recently, they've been games you don't even care about watching.
It's whatever, right? But not in the midst. Wild card weekend has always been wild card.
It'll be Fox, CBS, NBC.
Always.
So, but, like I said, I want to get into the Sixers, but I want to also touch base real quick on the Bill Belichick leaving New England and also with Saban with Alabama. They're two legendary coaches. I know we talked about Belichick and what do you take away from those two coaches? What do you think? Because obviously they were successful in all different ranks. They worked their way up and through with some struggles. But what do you take away from those two coaches? This is what made them successful. What is your thoughts on this staples what made them successful? People say Tom Brady made Bill Belichick successful, but there's obviously what their style.
I'll let you rock, Coach. Because I don't even want to celebrate them. I celebrate what they did.
That's what I mean. You have to.
But some could say that Belichick was a cheater.
Well,
if you was a New York fan, it's like, yo, you a cheater, yo. You know what I mean? I don't know, but go ahead. I'll let Coach go.
I'll talk more about Saban.
Yeah, okay. That's more of what I'm leaning towards as a
I think Saban, what made Saban so successful, and also I think the reason why he's getting out is because he had 100% control of his players.
Yeah.
They feared him. Mm-hmm. But also at the same time, they trusted him because of his past and where he was able to get players to. So they blindly just did whatever, took whatever, and just did whatever he demanded of them to do. Because of, and I don't know this, but I'm guessing because of what they wanted, where they wanted to get to, and how he had already gotten so many players to that spot. It's similar to I compare it to a John Calipari, where he guys go to Kentucky not because Kentucky's good, but because of what's going to happen after that. I know I'm going to get drafted. I know I'm going to get drafted high. He's put all these players in the league. Now, the key with football, though, is those guys had to stay for 3 years. So now he's bringing in the best players who want to go to the NFL, but now he gets them for 3 years or 2 at the least, I guess, if they went to prep school or whatever, to do what he wants to do with them and get them to where he needs to get them for him to be successful. So, I mean, and I think he's getting out because with NIL, with the transfer, I think all that's out the door. Like, you're not going to treat me like this. I can go wherever I want. I'll go here and get paid $1 million. I don't got to wait till I get to the NFL, that kind of thing.
He lost his leverage.
His leverage.
Exactly.
So I think that's why he's getting out, which is similar to like a Jay Wright. I think that's why he got out. Yep. Like, you just don't have that control. And I don't even mean control in a negative way. Even some would say it is negative, but I mean it more in a kids. The goals are different now. Yeah. The light at the end of the tunnel is no longer the NFL. They don't have to wait for the NFL anymore. They can get paid today. So I think when that's the case, I think coaches like a Saban, and there's a few others out there who I think it's past them who are struggling that are going to have to get out because it's just that. You know, the carrot at the end of the stick ain't working no more because they can just go get it right now.
Now, Saban, he wasn't the coach of that kid that went and get the gun to then shoot somebody. That wasn't him, right?
No, that was basketball.
It was a basketball team.
It was Alabama.
It was Alabama. Okay. So I don't know. I mean, Belichick, you know what I'm saying? In the eyes of a New Yorker, man, you would, I don't like Belichick. I mean, he's good, though. Make no mistake about it. He's good. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, I will always say that you're a cheater. Anytime you got to do that, you're a cheater. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what, we as a New Yorker will forever feel. He's nice. I always never forget that. He was the Jets coach?
He was the Browns coach for a little.
No. Belichick took the job for like
a day,
and then resigned. Yeah. Right. So like ain't no celebration over here. He's good though. Like he's good. He's legendary. I give him all that. Like to do that feat for that long, you got to give it up for them. Even Tom Brady. Like I would have to show love and respect for him, but I'm not celebrating him. And Saban, I don't know. It's see to me. Let me ask you, Coach, do you think that the coaching gets a little, have you seen it in your experience? Have you seen that the more you become more recognized or more celebrated, the fabric of coaching changes? Because coaching is what? Being able to influence, empower, and mentor to help that child be better in all aspects, not just the game, in all aspects, right? Does that change a little bit the more you because now once you're in those positions,
I think once you get to that level,
it's more about the wins than
it's about winning.
It's about the winning. So, getting the best of the best, and I guess it's like it's a win-win situation, right? Okay, listen, you know what? I care. I want my wins, and you're the best, and I think that you should come here. I'm gonna give you my wins, and we're the best. We'll give you this, and it's a win-win. But then the kids say, you know what? Nah, we getting NIL deals, so we don't even. Nah, you've been pimping us because this is what you said you could do, but boom, boom. But my talent is what it is, and now I can get other sponsorships. So that's, what I'm saying. I don't know. You still got to put the product on the field. You still win, but I don't know. I mean. What do we celebrate? We celebrating what? The fact that he won that many games? Okay, he did. I don't know.
He
is that fair? How I'm looking at it?
Yeah,
or no?
I see what you're saying. But at the same time, I think you have to. So kids were going to him for what? Not to win, to get to the NFL, right? I mean, of course, everybody wants to win, but like the ultimate goal. Why would I go to Alabama instead of Clemson at the time?
Right.
Because I think Saban's going to get me to the NFL. And he did that. And he did that for many. Now, would they have gotten there anyway? Of course. But would it have been at the same level? Would it have been the same pick? Would it have been like, there are some guys, I'm sure, who got drafted because they played at Alabama.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
End of story.
That's true.
Like,
That's
you're the
true.
starting safety at Alabama. We're going to take you.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
That's true.
Mac Jones. I don't think Mac Jones goes to the Patriots if Saban doesn't have the relationship with Belichick.
Good point.
Right. So network is everything.
Now-
Relationships. Yeah, I got
That
you.
might have been why Bill Belichick's not a coach anymore. But, like,
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess for what they did in the sports term of things, yeah, okay. It's like Calipari, or even I'll say even Patino. Not like Patino, but you cheat.
Yeah.
You cheat. But I like you though. You know what I'm saying? You had the Knicks playing well. You know what I'm saying? Now you at St. John's. You know what I'm saying? But I remember when you had Billy Donovan and taking them boys there with Providence. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you could coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Saban can't either. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. They did good. Just up. Okay. I'm saying, I don't know. Those are not two of my favorite people. I don't really like, and I definitely don't care for Belichick.
No, a lot of people
care.
don't, and there's that.
He's good though.
He is, but there's a lot of that question of, especially now that he's been struggling, how much of it was the players around him and not the coaching. But that's a conversation for another day, so we can get into some Sixers talk. So, how you feeling recently with the Sixers play? I feel like we're heading down that same road. I mean, they've won some games recently, they've lost some games, but with the whole now Joel Embiid injury hanging over and missing games, where's your head at right now with the Sixers? I'll just take.
I am. It's funny. I'm checked out. I'm not even sure why, but I feel like I'm kind of like disinterested. I don't know why. Maybe at this point in the season or whatever. And maybe that's my way of saying that we're in the same spot. We've been in this. We're in the same spot. It's the same thing, same old thing. Tobias, I will say, has been playing well, but Tobias he teases you. You know what I'm saying? He makes you feel good just enough to let you down. And I don't know. I'm tired of Joel, not being hurt or not being available. And the Sixers not doing enough to shore up that center. You know what I'm saying? Looks like Bamba is going to get more time than Paul Reed.
I'm not a Paul Reed fan
At all.
I mean, it was fun when it was B-ball Paul and we didn't really need him, and he come in and
now we need him.
Now he's got to play, and it's like, whoa.
Right. Now we need him. He's just okay.
He's just okay.
Yeah,
he's just okay.
Yeah. I knew you were right about the Tobias piece. He comes out, he drops you 30 points in back-to-back games.
Feel good.
Okay, so where is that? Like, if we could get that Tobias on a regular basis, it changes the dynamic of the team.
It's one of those things, and I agree, Jay. I'm checked out too, and I think it's because Embiid's not playing. So you're putting out a product that you're like,
Yeah.
If we win, oh great, but if we lose, we didn't have Embiid. Like,
right.
So like, this isn't even our team. Like,
right.
So there's like, why am I even watching this?
Right.
Like, so I don't know. It's been tough, and I think it all started with that Knicks loss.
Yeah.
It was just like, all right, I was like, this, what are we doing? Like,
Did you expect them to win that game? I didn't expect them to win. I didn't expect the Sixers to win.
No, I didn't think it was going to be like that.
Yeah. But I didn't think it was going to be spanking like that.
I didn't think it was
I didn't think that. But I didn't expect them to win.
I didn't expect them to win.
But, I do like some of the veteran leadership on this team. Like Pat Beverly, but he spoke up the other day talking about, this is a team with an opportunity to win, and Nick Nurse wants to win. He's got a different focus for this team. We need to basically, talking to Daryl Morey, saying we need to go out and do what we need to do to make this team as good as it can be. I don't think that they had that voice for a while, and I like seeing Pat Bev go out and say something like that.
The thing is I'm not even sure we don't get enough sample set to see what we need.
Right, because if you've got all these games that, like, how many games now? Obviously, Embiid's missed a ton of games. He might not even be eligible for the MVP this year. Well, to me, you're not an MVP if you're missing all these games anyway. But you're not, like you said, you don't have enough sample size to see how do we play together. One of the recent, I guess, trade talks that we were talking about yesterday, I heard about on the radio was, and I don't know why Toronto would do this, but the Tobias for Siakam, because they both have expiring contracts and it would kind of work. But I think that's a rose-colored glasses as a Philly fan looking at it. Like, oh yeah,
I think that's a Nick Nurse.
The Nick Nurse thing.
Well, yeah.
But,
and I'll be honest with you, they're not going to resign him.
Siakam.
Yeah, like Toronto.
Oh, Siakam. No, he's out.
He's
Right,
gone.
he is. He's out. But I don't
Once
think.
Anunoby went.
But I don't think. I mean, do you think a guy like Tobias resigns? I don't think they'd want to resign a guy like
No, I think they would just do it because we would also have to throw in some picks.
some picks, some
Right.
players. Yeah. So if you,
So that's why they would
I
do
mean,
that.
do you think that swings the pendulum a whole lot for the Sixers?
I think it helps. I mean, Siakam's a
Very
all
good
NBA player.
Yeah,
Like
he's a very
he
good
can
player.
play. Is that the best fit? I think that would be a move you have to make at the beginning of the season, so you have more time to play together and figure it out. Now, if he's going to resign here, I mean, he's going to cost more than Tobias would.
Sure,
He's going to
probably
cost a
get that
lot of
super
money. Is that the best fit? I don't know. It would. I would tell you this: it would help more when Embiid's not playing to have Siakam
you would
and
have
to have
more of a-
Tobias.
But you can go. Actually, you can go with him as a 5.
You could if you had to. So, but I don't know if that's the best fit. And I was having this conversation the other day. I don't even know what we need.
That's what I'm saying.
And or let me rephrase that. We need so much. And what I mean by that is we need a backup big, like a legit one, like somebody who can actually play. I still think we need another wing. I think we need a wing start. Like starting Kelly Oubre like scares me.
I actually think we see. I think we need another. So
And another ball
I
hand.
need another ball.
Yeah, I think we need all three.
That to me, like a TJ McConnell.
Yeah. What about like a Tyus Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Siakam. I don't like his game.
I think that's one of
That's
those.
what I mean.
I think that's one of those sexy names. Like
I don't like his game.
And I think-
Anunoby, I liked his game.
I think him and Tobias are the same thing.
Right, and then so now you get this 4. That's the reason why I'm like, we should have got Anunoby, right? But I'm like, but then that would have made him the 4. Well, he actually Anunoby could play that 3 though a little bit. But now, because Tobias can't play the 3.
No.
Right, he has to play the 4. You know what I'm saying? So then,
I just don't know who we go get because you're not. It's not like we can go. It's not like we can go shopping. Like we can't.
No.
We don't have all this space to just go get 4 guys, 5 guys who are gonna make an impact. And like playing Morris at the 5, like
no, I don't like that.
it's fine. I guess you can get through with some regular season stuff. But when the playoffs come,
No.
even though if Embiid's healthy, it's only going to be 10 minutes a game. But that's where we lose games. Is
Yep.
those 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Maybe, you know what though? Think about it. Maybe it's him trying to figure out all his pieces. Because I mean, you still got Compton on the bench over there. He's not getting no burn. Why isn't he getting no burn?
And the funny thing is, come playoff time, you might need him because he can still defend.
Definitely gonna need it.
And you're going to need him out on the wing, D'ing up guys.
against the Boston.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was just thinking. Like you're going to need a wing defender out there.
And I think Morris can play that role like PJ Tucker played, and better.
Yeah, I have no problem with
Yep.
Morris playing. I just don't. He can't be your backup 5.
No. I mean, Bamba looked okay. I would have rather kept Drummond. I think Drummond was their best option at that one year. I don't want Howard. You know what I mean, I don't want him. Who else is out there? But you need a backup center.
DeMarcus Cousins. I don't want him.
I don't want him either.
I'm just throwing that name out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
but he might help the bench though. But then he's going to complain on the bench.
it's funny. You brought up Covington, and I hadn't even thought about him in a minute because, like you're saying, he was getting no
He's getting no
time.
run.
Yeah,
It's no run. So
no
I don't
playing
know.
time at all. But and again, like just like everything else, there's like the West is very open and very competitive. There's teams out there that are going to want to make moves. Like the East is. I don't think the East is as open as the West, but there's still there's a lot of teams that are going to want to make these moves. It's not like
Right.
you're sitting here saying, okay, well, you're one of a handful of teams that want to make moves, so go with that. Speaking of moves, though, what is there anything that the Lakers can do to right this ship? Because they went from the in-season tournament champions to just playing some horrible basketball.
Yeah, Lakers, they're older. And see, when you're older, you think that you can flip the switch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what their struggles are. And they don't have they're like those Cleveland teams that started to struggle towards the end of LeBron's tenure. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then in the playoffs, then they become one of the dangerous ones. You know what I'm saying? So
Because you have LeBron and AD.
because you got
And
LeBron,
what he's doing, like,
You know,
I know we say it all the time, but like what he does at his year 20 or whatever it is, just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like he is just like it's a shame. Like I don't think he's because of like the whole Jordan LeBron debate and whatnot, and people hating on LeBron, like that he's not going to get the appreciation or is not getting the appreciation that he deserves. Like what we're watching is unbelievable.
I completely agree with that. I think with the Lakers right now, the problem is they brought in all these guys. And Jay, you say this all the time about like, guy, you are who you are. Like, you don't change who you are. All these guys who had issues in other places, but maybe had a little bit of success or whatever, and then they played well at the beginning of the season, and now everybody's just starting to be who they actually are.
Who they are, shit. You know what
So like a guy like Jared Vanderbilt or somebody like that who might have had like a good run of games now is back to who he is, and now LeBron, and I don't even give AD that kind of credit, but LeBron is having to try to go back to when he was carrying teams in Cleveland, scoring 25 in a row. Like he can't do that anymore. Like you're not going to win games.
Some days are over,
and you could just tell he's exhausted.
Yeah.
Like he's just like he's mentally and physically exhausted with this team. And we talk about it at this point. I think he's staying in the league in the hopes that he can play with Bronny. And it doesn't look good. I was just going to say
that one little game, and but I think I think he gets drafted regardless, just because.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if I'm a GM, I'm absolutely drafting Bronny James.
Drafted out
But
of the way. Same way Giannis brothers are on the team.
Yeah, exactly. Donis is like, I'm a champion. Wait a minute, what? How many minutes did you play? I didn't realize he was on the when he won. I didn't realize he was on the team.
He was on the Lakers.
He was.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I think that Philly's not a bad team, but I don't know if they have what it takes to get over the hump. The one thing is I do feel better with Nick Nurse at the helm. Like I think now it's, do you have the pieces to be successful? And I think you said, Coach, that or maybe you said it, Jay, a few minutes ago, that he's still figuring out what he has and how to do the right rotation. But again, and you're not getting excited because Embiid's not in there,
right? And like you said, you're just kind of like, well, we're going down the same path. Call me when the playoffs come around, right? It's like, how much do I, how much can I get excited still at Nick Nurse then? Because if it's the same thing, right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. I actually think that a lot of it is Embiid. Embiid just didn't step up. You know what I'm saying? When we needed him to step up. That's the bottom line, yo. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Game 6, we're up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? With a chance to make it happen, we falter. You know what I'm saying? Hawks series, falter. You know what I'm saying? So how much do we put the onus on the coaching when we're like, maybe it's the product?
I think the difference in the coaching that I see is the games they're supposed to win, they blow teams out. Mm-hmm. Okay. And in the past, those games would be the games that were like, why are we doing like, right? I think that's the major difference I see in the coaching right now. And like you said, is that coaching? I mean, I have to give some of that credit to Nick Nurse because they're going out and doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah. I'm looking at the standings right now. I didn't realize the Sixers are in third place right now.
In the Eastern Conference?
In the Eastern Conference. 2.5 games behind Milwaukee. And then 2 games up. but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 teams that are right 2 games behind them.
Yeah, I bet you one of them is New York because New York is coming.
New York is
coming.
So it's one of those things where like you're in third place, which is good, but if you keep faltering, you're going to end up in 8th.
Right.
Yep.
Very quickly.
New York is coming.
Very quickly.
You're in the play-in tournament. So
I don't know. I mean, I got upset. I'm trying to think what game that I felt like the Sixers had the game and they wound up losing it.
Atlanta?
I think it was that game. So I don't know. I mean, I mean, I do like him because you know what? He's different right now. He's you know, I don't.
Yeah. It's a new tool.
It's a new wave. Yeah. So I'm still, but that new wave is starting to seem familiar, and that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But Embiid has to. I mean, the swelling of the knee is never good. Right. So you know that's concerning. Yeah. So stay out until you know what I'm saying. Yeah. But then that's what I'm saying. Like, why don't you have like a backup like that? Like, you know, where was the days you were going with the Andre Drummonds or whatever?
Especially when you have a guy like Embiid and
there's 15, 20 games that you're going to have to. I mean, you're going to say at least 15 games you're going to have to find a guy to jump in and play for him.
And I'm not saying that you have to replace, because what is Embiid averaging, 30? I'm not saying replace the whole 30, but damn, I mean, you got to at least place between 10 and 15.
Yeah.
You know what
I'm saying? Get something.
10 and 15 and a little bit of a defensive presence.
You need something.
You know, and that, you know, that falls on Morey, you know. But
and Paul Reed is good for small stints.
Right. Yeah.
Small stints. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
sure. I don't trust him in crunch time.
No, I mean, small stints.
I say that about a lot of guys. Like, you know, guys come in, they do well, they play their 4 minutes, they get out, and everybody's like, how come they don't play more? And it's like, okay, now they play 15 minutes. You're like, that's why they don't play more. Right.
Because
that 4 minutes, that's when they're great. But then as you get out there more, you get exposed.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So, you know what I'm saying? The coagulation is not coagulating.
Coagulation's not coagulating.
That's just
they got a little afternoon game today, though.
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, 1 o'clock game today. So
yeah, I mean, I hope they win.
It's like an appetizer.
Yeah, who they play? Not Trail.
Houston.
Oh, with Dylan
Brooks.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks is in the building.
Yeah,
you know, they suck. They suck. But I mean, listen. I mean, they're still my team. They still got to get busy. You know, I think one more ball handler. I think that would be good, and maybe a backup center. I think we're good. I mean, I think with Batum, you got Batum. You know, would you consider Marcus Morris? He's a wing, right?
He's
like a 3 year. You know, like I said, I think he's the same thing, PJ Tucker. So to me, I think we're good with that. Mm-hmm. You know, how about James Harden in them? I mean, they're playing very well.
I'm just very well.
Yeah, I'm just loving it though. That's what I want.
He, you know what's crazy about him? He looks more like explosive, more active, more agile. Like he's making moves, getting the basket. I'm like, where the hell is this?
Yeah, I think he's calm. He's happy. You know.
Yeah.
He's still not the focal point. You know.
It's regular season.
No. I get it. I'm just saying, just the way he's moving, though. Yeah. I'm like, what? I agree. But I'm just saying, it's just like, what? Like, does this guy really like tank like that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But that's we saw some of last year. So what I mean, this is what you want. You know what I'm saying? Because I got them going out first second round.
I mean, is there a guy you can remember though that had that switch, like where he was just like, I'm going to play tonight. Not going to play tonight.
That's so crazy.
I mean, even here in Philly, when he had great games in playoffs, and then was like, not going to play tonight.
Craziness.
On and off.
Yeah, the thing is that, and that's why character is so important, man, because you are who you are everywhere you go. I do not care. I promise you, it's coming. That's what makes the whole Stephen A stuff funny. You know what I'm saying? Because at some point, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's coming.
You know it's coming.
And I'll tell you what, him and Shannon Sharp together, I really like them.
Yeah.
I do like Shannon Sharp, but
he's not bad. He's not bad.
I like him.
He's not bad.
Listen, I know we gotta get towards wrapping up this show, so I'm gonna go back to, unless there was something I missed, I'm gonna go back to the Eagles and get your predictions and final thoughts on the day. So, Coach, how about yourself?
I'm gonna go. I just don't think they have. I don't think this is the year. I just don't think this is it. I'm gonna go Bucks 27, Eagles 17. I hope I'm wrong. I'll be rooting for the Eagles. Don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna give my honest what I think is going to happen. In terms of final thoughts, not a whole lot. just still plugging through this season.
Yeah, how y'all doing?
We're 4-8. We're I don't want to say we're struggling. We are who we are. Like, we're trying to find ways to score. We're trying to find ways not to beat ourselves. We got a lot of guys who we had this conversation the other day that beginning of the season were inexperienced varsity basketball players, but now we're 12 games in, so you got to figure it out.
Right.
We can't be making the same mistakes.
Right.
Tuesday we're at West Tech with Coach Bird.
Okay.
So we got a little rematch there. We got to make up for that one.
Might have to. That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
5:15, I believe.
I might have to come through and watch that game.
So yeah. So
Yeah, I said that last time. I might have to follow through. I might have to follow through on the conversation this time.
So we'll see. But no, everything's good, man. We're getting better. We're trying to figure it out. We won our last game, which is always positive. So
who'd y'all play?
Bordentown.
Okay,
Bordentown.
Like you said, you're 4-8, but you could easily have been 6-6,
we're
7-5.
a couple shots away from flipping it. So, yeah.
So that's a good thing when you can see that.
Yeah.
So, I'll take it next. I kind of agree with you. Like, I want to say the Eagles are going to win, but I don't have the faith. I'm still going to ride with them in an ugly 23-20 victory over the Bucks. I think they get a big defensive play, which has been what they've been lacking recently. So that's my thoughts. Other than that, getting back into the week, it's been a fun week, and then getting back into the grind. A little bit of cold ahead this week, so we'll see what's going on with that. And I know yesterday morning they said, "Oh, well, enjoy it because it's the warmest it's going to be for the next 6 days." And I was like, "Wait a minute, if I'm cold, I know it's cold." So, Jay, how about yourself?
I think the Eagles going to come out and bust they behind. You know what I mean? I got them going. I still think it's going to be competitive. I got it 34-17. I think they figure it out. I think they surprise everybody, and we start back to scratching our heads like, what is with this team? We could be so good, we could be so bad, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? As far as the week, we got 3 games this week too. You know what I'm saying? So it's a busy week. Got to get some victories. We're not doing bad. We're developing. You know what I'm saying? Still, trying to figure. Get the thing is that you want to be there for when it counts. So. Yeah. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Let's figure it out. Trust that process, and we'll be fine. Other than that, listen, chugging through January. You know what I'm saying? Happy Martin Luther King Day. You know what I'm saying? Always keep your days of service out there.
That's a good way to put it. Trudging through January.
Trudging through.
Well, listen, with that said, for Coach, for Jay and myself, we will see what the Eagles have in store for us. And, of course, we'll be back again to hopefully next week talk about a playoff game with Detroit. With that said, appreciate everyone watching, and we will catch you guys next time.